Hello, welcome everyone. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to another fantastic episode of the Gloria Bailey Ray Show. As always, it's not only a blessing, but it's an honor to be here. And I want to just give a shout out to all of you worldwide, wherever you are, for being here and for tuning in. The Gloria Bailey Ray Show is a very interactive show. So it is allowing you, if you have questions, you have comments, you can place them in the comment section. And I love this particular format because you, as viewers, the audience, have an opportunity to participate. And so if you have questions, comments, you can place them in the comment sections. For those of you that are new, let me just tell you, it's always fire, and I love the feedback that I get from each one of you. I want to encourage all of you guys, if you've not done it all already, make sure that you guys follow me on my Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and on Instagram. I am the authentic_coach. So follow me, you guys, but Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, we are streaming live. That's right, live. So you're getting it real time right now. So thank you guys so much for being here. Again, shout out to all of you that are tuned in both nationally as well as internationally. Love it, love it, love it. Hey, have you guys got a copy of my new book? You didn't get the memo, Navigating Corporate America. There is something in there for every one of you. So just head on over to gloriabaileyray.com, my website, purchase the book, and I'll be sure and autograph it for you. All right. So be sure and pick up your copy. Don't be the last one to do that. All right. Also, quick reminder, workshop coming up September 30th through October 21st, a 4-week workshop, The Power of Self-Confidence. That's right, self-confidence. So if you feel like you're lacking in some of those areas, you got some things going on, just be sure, excuse me, and go to the website, follow up, and I look to see you there. Lastly, coming up in less than 2 weeks on September 23rd from 2 to 4 p.m., I will be doing a book signing and reading at Barnes & Noble in Walnut Creek. So Mark your calendars, 2 to 4 p.m. I would love, 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 love to see you guys there. All right. So, again, shout out to all of you. I see some of you are already here, and thank you guys so much for that. Want to do something a little different. I always try to stay mainstream and talk about things that impact all of us, and whether you're working, not working, retired, but there is something in it for everyone. And we know that what's happening right now, as we look at across the nation, the homelessness, the joblessness, there are a lot of things that are impacting just our quality of life overall. But I wanted to address the societal stigma that surrounds vocational technical training versus going to college. And I don't think I need to tell any of you who have college degrees what the cost of college is. And we can't look for people to always bail us out of certain situations. And I know that that's something that's been talked about, but I come from an environment where vocational technical classes in school was a really, really big thing. And so I want to kick this off by, again, just saying, we should be looking at breaking the societal stigma. Should vocational and technical classes be offered to high schoolers as a pathway to earning a living? What do you guys say? What do you think? Choosing vocational technical school versus a 4-year college, right? And here's where I'm going with that. In an increasingly digital and technology driven world, the demand for skilled professionals in the technical field is on the rise. I don't even think there is any question about that. And as both vocational and technical schools and 4-year colleges, yeah, they offer valuable educational pathways. Um, and it's crucial that, people assess the pros and the cons of each and consider the factors such as cost differences, the potential pay disparities, but also long-term effect. I know people who are in debt still paying off college student loans for years, right? And so today's show is about shedding a light on the need for technical or technically trained professionals and actually explore the benefits and the drawbacks of attending vocational technical schools versus a 4-year college. So it's no secret that the pandemic, it wreaked havoc on all of us. And in today's world, technology is rapidly advancing. And of course, you guys all know now with AI and Chat GPT, it's influencing every aspect of our lives. What choice do we have? If you choose not to be involved, I can already tell you that's really not an option, right? But with all of this technology, this has resulted in a significant increase in the need for individuals with technical skills who can effectively utilize technology to solve complex problems, complex challenges. And therefore, there's the reason why there's this increase in demand for more technically trained people. We need people who can fill these roles, right? And one of the primary roles for the growing demand is the continuous evolution of technology. And I just said with AI, Chat GPT, every day, every day, new technologies are emerging, and businesses are really and truly looking for skilled individuals who can adapt very quickly, ramp up, implement these new technologies in their respective fields. And when we think about it, just in data analytics, there is an immediate need for technical experts who can operate all these technologies and different factors around finance, healthcare, transportation. And that's just to say a few, right? And so this is why I wanted to take the time for us to talk about, look, let's remove the societal stigmas around somebody who has a vocational, say, 2-year degree, an associate degree, or someone who has a technical degree who's up to speed and moving. So, let's talk about that. And if you guys have experience, I see all of y'all. I see ATL, Miss Wanda. What's happened, my brother? Emmanuel, all you guys, thank you. always the hat. But you guys chime in. Let me know what you think. What are your thoughts? What's, if you've had that experience at all. Because I grew up in a town where vocational technical training, it was a really, really big deal. And, for me, I want somebody who can do the job. I don't know about y'all, but don't you want someone that you can rely on that can do the job and do it efficiently, effectively, and know their stuff, right? So, when we talk about breaking the stigma, another critical factor that's driving the need is the shortage of technical expertise. That's right. Can you believe that? Technology is just it's blowing by us. But there's still a shortage of people needed with these particular skills. So even when we look at the massive technological advancements, there's still a huge gap in the supply and demand for skilled workers, skilled technology workers. So again, needed to address this. So some of you guys are thinking, I know my parents were pushing us, you go out, you get a college degree, and that's where it's at. But at the same time, this gap is especially prevalent in developing countries where the economic conditions do not encourage students to pursue technology-based education. And so it's just really mind-boggling to me that there are organizations that are really struggling to find qualified software developers, data scientists, and engineers. And again, I started out by saying about COVID-19, the pandemic actually accelerated the shift towards remote work and the adoption of innovative technology solutions. And so business, they are in dire need of hiring individuals who can operate, troubleshoot these technological systems and do it remotely. So as the demand for remote work and virtual technologies increase, so will the need for more technical experts, y'all. So if you're wondering, when we think about, why would someone want to go to a vocational school or, a technical school as opposed to maybe college? It's the thing is, you know what? When technology, and it's not going to stop growing, it's not going to stop moving as it continues to evolve, y'all, the skills required to harness the potential is also evolving. I don't know. I just saw on 60 Minutes where they did an episode about AI and chat GPT and how the robots had started one thing, but how they start to learn the things that you're doing. And we can't be afraid of what's happening. Because some of you, did you guys grow up with the Jetson? You remember thinking there is no way, but we thought it was really cool to be able to tap your watch and talk, or say, hey, you're coming through the front door, my martini needs to be fixed or whatever in the hand. You guys remember that? The robot, I think her name was Rose, that was actually the housekeeper. Think back 20, 30 years, and here we are, you guys. And so from software engineering to cybersecurity and robotic, technical fields play a pivotal role in shaping our modern world. We got to get with it. Or as the young prodigy I had on my show about a month ago, he says, you got to ride the wave. You got to ride the wave, because the demand for qualified professionals with technical expertise is expected to keep growing. It's not going to stop. It's presenting immense job opportunities and career growth prospects for those who have relevant skills. And so, I just think that it's timely that we need to be talking about this. The other thing is there are people who need to get out and to be making money and to be doing some things and really kind of breaking those cycles that they're in. And so if you're caught up with trying to get a 4-year degree, and by the way, I have it, I'm not knocking it. But what I am saying is, it's something to think about. You now have choices. And some of those choices you have to stop and look at and say, okay, I need to be making money now. I need to take care of my family. I need to get these skill sets. It may mean that going to night classes or going back at a later time, but the options for you to get out and to get these skills and to be able to hone them and put them to use right away, it's, there's nothing that compares to that, right? And so these are some of the things that I think that we need to, we need to dismiss, all the stigmas around, oh, you only went to vocational school. Because I'm going to tell you, if it weren't for some of these people who are plumbers, who are electricians, who are, the construction works, had it not been for them going through these vocational training schools, where would we be? So we need everyone, and no one is better than the other. I see you guys in the chat room. Let me see. Let me take a minute and pause. I know I'm on a roll. I'm talking. I'm excited about talking about this. I see what you're saying, Emmanuel. When you grew up, you said vocational technical, what'd you say, training was a great thing and very successful at getting people ready for the careers they wanted. Absolutely. And that's where I'm going with that. I see ATL most definitely. Uh, you all right, I see what you're saying. You say that students should be given the opportunity and they should be able to see the need for technical skill. Parents need to understand this also. I mean, absolutely, there's no question, and I see also that you agreed with me about the Jetsons, right? And now we can see where the technical skills could have brought us to. No, absolutely, no question, and that's why this is so appropriate, and this is a great time to be talking about. You hear people say, "I'm jobless, I'm this, I'm that," but you know what? Sometimes you just kind of have to take a step back and say, "Look, if I can go through this technical school and I can get the training and I can get out and I'm making $50, $60 an hour, yeah, I may not be making 75 to 100, but at least you now got a leg up and you got something that you work with, right? And those are the things. So, when you think about vocational and technical, just think of it in this way. Technical vocational education programs, they're just basically designed for the person who are enrolled in these programs to acquire the knowledge, the skills, the competencies that would be specific to a particular occupation, trade, or class of occupations or trades. And you know what? Vocational programs are usually offered through what they would say vocation education, which may have a work-based components to it. So when you think about getting out of school and having these skills, me personally, having hands-on training, that to me is huge. And I think that those are the things that we really have to think about. Get that skill, get that training, get that knowledge, excuse me, and then let's get out there. Um, we have to we've got to have a shift, you guys. There has to be a shift from what is and what you have been doing to what really needs to happen. And I believe no one has the right to look down upon someone who has, let's say, a mechanic, but they understand it, because now look at cars. The cars are all electric. You've got to understand, how do you manage and take care of electrical cars, even hybrid cars. All of these things still require a certain type of skill. And I guarantee you, if somebody who really knows how to work on your vehicle, you're not going to ask them, well, let's see, did you go to a vocational technical school and get this training? Or did you go to college and get a degree? And therefore, so guys, it's time to make some decisions, and we've got to get really, really real about what's happening here. So wanted to kick it off by starting out by saying to all of you, hey, Miss Wanda, that what's important is what it is that we are, that we are looking at as a society. We've got to bring in skilled laborers who really understand all of these technical things that are happening. I mean, as much as I use the computer and all of that, there's so many things that I don't understand and that I don't know. And that's why, you guys, we're talking about addressing the societal stigmas that are associated with vocational technical training, and hoping to shed a light on those people who are going through vocational training and getting the skill sets that are needed and that are necessary. No matter where you go, you guys, we need it. We know that we need it. And it's just a matter of time, right? So I tell you what, we're going to take a really, 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 really quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about touch again on about the main differences in technical college programs, but the advantage of a trade school education, and just kind of move into some of those things. But keep your comments coming. I love it. Thank you guys so much. I see you there. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back. You're tuned into the Gloria Bailey Ray Show, and we are talking about addressing the societal stigma surrounding vocational and technical training. We'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
There's only one thing that will save somebody's life, and that is naloxone nasal spray. Get 911 on the phone, get the emergency responses there on their way.
All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging in here. While we went to break, I see other comments here. And I have to say, I would agree with you. You're saying that we should put pressure on the education system. So to include programs for male and females, absolutely. And some of the things that work, in yesteryears, they continue to work today. And you're absolutely not. And not everyone is a college bound student, right? It's just that there are a myriad of reasons for that. But just sometimes there are just some young people who are just really good with their hands. They're really good as it relates to all of the different and various technologies. So, yeah, again, I am not discounting, 4-year college education. Don't get me wrong, but I think that, maybe, just maybe we need to flip the script a little bit. And we really need to, instead of just pushing everybody just college, to look at some of these technical programs. One, they take less time to complete than a bachelor's degree. The programs are shorter in duration. They tend to cost less, of course, as I say, than a 4-year degree. And technical colleges, they literally tend to focus more on career skills than on general education requirements. You can even earn an associate degree. And I think I said that in the outset. And in fact, according to the U.S. Department of Education, technical schools teach the theory and science behind the occupation, while vocational schools take a more hands-on approach to teaching the skills needed to do the job successfully. So, bridging that and really looking at it. And so why should you take advantage of a trade school education? Again, just given the fact that money isn't always plentiful in a lot of families. And that if you have at least these technical skills, these degrees, you can go out and get a job. The vocational programs, they tend to be shorter. The feature less restrictive admissions requirement. And again, they cost less than you getting a bachelor's degree. And one of the biggest benefits of a trade school is the chance to enter the workforce immediately after you complete your program. So most trade schools, they have dedicated counseling departments, and they actually will help students find employment upon graduation. So if you even think about that, to me, that's a plus plus. That's a win-win, because you not only get the training, you not only have the skills, but now you're going to also have the placement. And I don't need to tell any of you who do have college degrees how difficult and challenging it can be at times when you have a degree, you come out of college, and you, like, hundreds of thousands of others, and you guys are competing for this job. Some of you end up taking jobs that's not really in your wheelhouse, it's not in your field, but just so that you can start having income coming in. So here is, again, a different avenue, a different way for you to look at, how do I do this? How do I survive? How do I make a living and start to bring income? And I just think those are some of the things. Again, dating myself, but I went to high school and junior high school where they taught things like shop, machine, um, automotive, woodworking. It was all of these things, and we've just kind of moved away from that. And at the end of the day, what you find is that you need all of these technologies. You need someone who understands and can teach and train. And even a lot of the teachers, look, all it took was COVID-19 happening to find out how many of our educators were not computer savvy. So at this particular point in time, and no knock, teachers, you guys have a hell of a job to do yourself. But at the same time, not understanding the whole scope of how technology worked and not having the type of support that was needed, that was a whole nother ball game. Whole nother ball game. And so, we need to make sure that our students are given the choice. We need to take what someone has a passion around, and let's work with that. Let's remove, this whole stigma about you got to go to college. If you look at the percentages, and I did not do research on that, but I would still say there are a fair number of people who drop out of college after their first semester, and definitely after their first year, because college just wasn't their thing. It just wasn't their vibe. And yet, when you know what it is that they like, and you've exposed them to different things, I just ask you, just imagine for a moment what that looks like, what that would do. Just consider that. And so, when you think about, a shortened time, having job placement, having the support, and being able to start to bring in a paycheck for your family, it, again, a game changer, a game changer. I don't know about you, but I think about that, and I'm like, yeah, that totally makes a difference. And so, when we think about restrictions as it relates to vocational technical programs, not having the restrictions and being able to get into the workforce immediately after you complete your program, you know, think about that. And most trade schools have like career counseling departments, and they're already into that mode, and they've developed relationships in the communities and surrounding communities in terms of helping you to find employment, right? And so this is a really, really big thing, and these are the things that we need to look at and understand. There is a growing need for technical trained professionals, y'all, and we need to get it together. We really and truly do. And so Some, in case you're wondering, again, when we talk about the vocational and technical skills, what they do is they literally focus on hands-on instructions, practical skill development. Um, I know that we have a family member who is an electrician and has gone on to not only be a journeyman, but to reach the highest degree that you can have as an electrician. And I don't know about you, but at some point, everybody's going to need an electrician. And to know that you're making a couple $100 an hour, $250, $300 an hour, just think about that. I mean, that's not a shabby living at all for you to make, right? And so, having these skills, developing these skills, and gaining real world what I want to say, experience through internships and apprenticeships, to me, that's priceless. Absolutely priceless. So, I'd like to hear from you. I see some of you are here in the room. What are your thoughts as it relates to going to school? And some people are able to do double duty, but at least getting your foot in the door and building on that. What are your thoughts as it relates to growth, to um, getting people to look at, and getting the educational system to look at, hey, we really need to bring this back. We really need to do this. Do you guys have any thoughts about that at all? What are your thoughts? Anything? Because at the rate we're going, technology is not slowing down, you guys. And I know that for those of you who are thinking about what can I do, that old saying they say, an idle mind is a devil's workshop, that maybe we need to look at, getting our youth into some of these vocational technical programs. They're shorter. They range from a few months up to 2 years. They allow the students to enter the workforce quickly. So what are your thoughts as relates to, just maybe we need to do something like this and get them off the street and get them into something that they love, right? So, let's think about that. And they're not coming out with the same type of debt that they would have as it relates to a 4 year. And so, the affordability factor, it actually makes this a very appealing option, y'all, for individuals who are actually seeking quality education without incurring significant debt. And for those of you who are just joining us, I'm just talking about how we can address the societal stigma around vocational technical training when we know there is such a need. The need is so huge and so great. And talking about why we probably need to look at trying to move our youth into programs where they can get the hands-on training, they can gain the knowledge, they have the skills, and allow them to come out with less debt and they are employable, they have jobs, they are able to go to work and be a contributor to our society, y'all. These are the things, and so for whatever it's worth, I just think that sometimes some of the things that we keep trying to, fit a square peg into a round hole, and it's not working. And with all of the technical training that is needed out there, and I tell you, AI has just exploded. You have to understand that. And so as it relates to healthcare system, finance system, you look, it's been in the news. You guys already know how many systems from citywide, countywide, state, that have been hospitals that have been held ransom by people who have actually penetrated and gotten into these systems. You need someone who knows how to be able to get them out, right? And where do you go? So the demand is so great. We've got to have people who are sharp, and some of you are really, really sharp. You know how to work those back rooms. You know how to go into the deep dark web, all of those things. So why not make those skills available, get trained, and be able to really be, a complement to society while you're also getting paid. Does that make sense, you guys? I see your comment, Miss Barbara. You feel very strongly about making them available. Your granddaughter graduated in May and she's becoming frustrated because she is having difficulty finding a job in her college field. There we go. Absolutely. That's real. And I said early on, you're competing with all of these other people who graduated. And if you don't know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, a lot of times it's so frustrating. And you will find people who are now waiting tables with master's degrees, PhD degrees, and they can't find a job, right? This is real, people. Let's start to put our heads together and say, okay, how do I flip the script and do this? I see you, Ms. Barbara. You said she spent 4 years getting her degree, and now she has to accept a low-wage job in order to try and support herself. And yeah, it's tragic. It's sad, but it's real. And so this right here, viewers, this is why I wanted to talk about why we need to look at what you are learning as it relates to a vocational or technical school and the skill sets you're going to have, and have that support that they will be able to place you, and you will, you bump up because you got the skills you've gone through, and that's important. So, this is real. And I hear you. All right, Miss Carolyn, AI will be a threat. Look at the writers in Hollywood. Absolutely. Yeah. So you've got to stay 10 steps ahead of everything else that is happening. And this strike is going on and on. But if you don't know how to manage and control and know someone who has the skills to help you, I mean, you're dead in the water. So I'm just going to say, for those of you who are seeking a broader vocational, or I say well-rounded education, or a pathway to advanced degrees, you may find, of course, vocational technical schools not the way to go. But again, I wanted to offer up an option. Look at things a different way. And the perception and the stigma that's around you going to a vocational technical school. Look, I want the person who can do the job and do it extremely well. And there's still the stigma as relates to that. So even though there's a growing demand for technical professionals, some may associate vocational technical education with lesser prestige or capability. I mean, really, come on, get over yourself. That's like saying I graduated from yeah, I went to Harvard and you went to Howard. Or look, at the end of the day, if you don't know what you don't know, it won't matter anyway. And so we've got to get over talking about prestige. We got to get over all of this stuff, because I'm going to tell you, at the end of the day, I want the best doctor who, understands and knows their stuff. But I tell you, this perception is changing rapidly, y'all. Somebody got to get on board, because as the industry demand shifts and recognize the value of these specialized degrees as it relates to what you've gotten from vocational and technical schools, you're going to start to see that the field it's moving, because people need those people. They need their help. They need them to be there. So think about it for a moment, you guys. Just think about it. And when we talk about 4-year college, yeah, it provides a well-rounded education. There's an emphasis supposedly in critical thinking, research skills. You seem to gain a broader understanding of various subjects. And in many ways, this can contribute to personal and intellectual growth, developing qualities that go beyond technical expertise. But I also believe that a lot of people who have gone to technical schools, and I happen to know some of them, in terms of their critical thinking and understanding, their instructors were dope. They understood, they taught them and to think critically, to look at a problem, how to approach a problem. So, let's not get caught up, in the minutia of the fact that I have a 4-year degree and therefore I'm superior to you. And that's the thing. I love it. Miss Wanda, all right, we also need to change the perception around HBCUs. Yeah, like your example. So people would frown on a doctor from Howard, but applaud a doctor who studied at Harvard all the time. Right on. I got to give you 2 snaps on that. And that's the thing. We have got to move from, all of this. Who started this? How dare you? Some of the best doctors didn't go to Harvard. We need to understand that. And yet they are top in their fields. So flipping the script, changing the perceptions around all of these different things, guys, I'm telling you, if you're not riding the wave, thank you, Kaz. I heard that. If you're not riding the wave as it relates to technology, you're dead in the water. Totally, totally dead in the water. So we need to have that pendulum swing back. We need to get these young people and get their minds and hands and heads busy doing some things that they're really good at. If they can turn around and drop an engine in an old, Chevy and, drop it and make it a low rider and do all these other things, think about all the things they can do, because that takes skill, that takes knowledge. They have to understand, how the links and the bolts and all of these things work together. So what are we doing, y'all? What are we doing? We are not, in my opinion, doing the best job when it comes to holding our educators accountable. We really and truly are not. And here's the other reason why, if we don't start doing things, we're going to be left behind. I just read an article. Now I'm here in Oakland. There was like 3 point something billion set aside that was supposed to be to bring in the internet for inner cities. And guess what? All of a sudden, that was reduced something like by 56% for Oakland, 77 or 71% for inner city Los Angeles, where it is needed. But yet they're talking about putting in the internet in very affluent areas that already have it. Come on, y'all. What's wrong with that? Everybody should be ticked off. These politicians, they get money and it's all about a game. I don't like to talk politics, but when I see things like that and I see you're going to give them a hot spot and the hot spot works half the time, stop it. Stop it. It's all about money for you. And I'm going to say to all of you city administrators, all you politicians, all you county administrators, Gavin Newsom, every one of y'all should be taken out and whipped behind a barn with some wet peas. Yes, I'm hot about that because it's always, that's redlining at its best. Who does that? This is 2023, y'all. And so, you guys need to be paying attention to what your leaders, so-called leaders, are doing. And what they're doing, they're taking care of their own self. They're taking care of the areas that they live in. But poor people and po people and people who can't afford, they're being left behind. This is why I said, get your kids into a quality vocational technical school. Learn the skills. Go out there. And then you demand the money that you're supposed to get. Because if you don't, it's a whole nother world, y'all. Hear me when I say that. And everyone in this Oakland, Alameda County need to be pissed off. You guys should be very upset with what's happening. We talk about we don't have money, but you got all these monies that are set aside, and they're not going for the programs that they're supposed to be going for. How are we going to have high-speed internet if you're not going to put in what you said you were going to put in, and you're doing us a disservice? And so I just say to all of you, you guys, you need to pay attention to who you're voting for. Be very clear. Send them a message. But this inbreeding with these politicians and how they are treating, people of color, especially because those are the ones, I have to say that mainly, but people of color are the ones who are so disenfranchised. They're the ones who are not getting the skills. They're the ones that's not getting the training. So get your kids into a school, a training school, a technical vocational school where they can get the skills and knowledge. And then they can turn around and say, in your face, So I see you, Ms. Jackson. We have to learn how to make our politicians accountable. The money is going towards those companies and individuals that will help keep their pockets aligned. Absolutely. That's just what I said. And it's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. And every single one of you that are listening around the world, because it's not just happening here in the U.S., in California, on the West Coast. It's happening everywhere. But we need to now start sending a very strong message. As they would say back home, we ain't going to take it no more. We tired. We tired. We ready to have some things change. And that's what has to happen. But we've got to address the stigma around how kids go into a vocational technical school, get the skills and knowledge that they need. And guess what? 90% of them probably will go out and then become entrepreneurs after they've gotten, the training and they've gotten the knowledge and they've worked several years. Guys, this is the thing. This is just where it's at. Sorry, I got on a tangent there, but someone had sent that to me, and I'm just really upset that we would have politicians who would take away, some basic rights. You're already dealing with people in housing. You've got housing, homelessness, you've got joblessness, and then you got this. So I'm just saying to you guys, we need to take a step back, and we need to take a breather and think about that. Y'all, for those of you who are just joining, you see I'm fired up. We're talking about, addressing the societal stigmas as relates to vocational and technical training, which is so needed. Look, we're going to take a really quick break so I can catch my breath. And guys, don't go anywhere. And I just want us to round out talking about maybe some solutions as it relates to vocational technical training. And again, I so appreciate you guys being here, and don't go anywhere. All right. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Talk to doctor now and share it. Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it. Gonna get it, gonna slip it, gonna cuff it. Check it, talk to doctor and share it. Gonna get it, gonna slip it, gonna cuff it. Check it, talk to doctor and share it.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. High blood pressure silently affects millions of Americans. Staying on top of your blood pressure is as simple as these 4 easy steps. Self-monitoring is power. Visit manageyourbp.org to learn more.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. So if you want to talk to your kids, you have to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
All right. Hey, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you being here at the Gloria Bailey Ray Show. We're on every Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And the goal is always to bring you a show that's informational, inspirational, and motivational is the hope. We've been talking about um, addressing the societal stigma around going through vocational and technical training. And with the onset, and as technology continues to just, it's exploded. And there is such a great need for individuals who have technical training and around all of these different technologies. And I just wanted to offer up to those parents and to those youth and young adults, to the educators, that maybe we really need to look at flipping the script and finding kids who are not saying that they can't go back and get a college degree, but not all kids are ready, mature enough in many ways to govern themselves when you go to college, because college is a whole nother bear. It's a big old bear. And a lot of kids may not do as well. But going through and maybe taking, just kind of veering off the path and going to a vocational technical school to get skill training, and then to be placed to have a job placement where they develop not only the skills, the knowledge, but some maturity. Nothing will stop them from going back and getting a bachelor's degree if that's what they want. But just the fact that we really and truly need to be pushing our educators to really start to look at, what are we really doing here with our kids? And, going back, just basics 101A, from I see you from kindergarten, all the way up. Find out what these kids' interests and skills are. I understand that there are a lot of single parent families, and at one point I was like that. But one of the things was always striving to find the things that my kids liked. What were they good at? Because see, when they have a passion for something, it's not like work. It's not taxing. It doesn't take away. But when you're just totally, all you push is you better go to school, better get a college degree, yeah, that 4-year degree can serve as a foundation for pursuing advanced degrees in various fields or switching careers. And I also know that the flexibility can be valuable, of course, if you're seeking to go into diverse avenues, if you wanted growth or a career advancement. But although some statistics will show that individuals that have a 4-year degree tend to earn higher salaries compared to those with vocational technical training, but that is only in certain professions. And that should not deter anybody. We need to understand that, for your college degree, let me tell you, that means accumulating an awful lot of student loan debts. And I have to say, you can't expect the government to bail you out. You just can't. You got tuition fees, accommodation, other expenses that make a 4-year college more costly compared to a vocational technical school. And here's the interesting thing, is there's some limited hands-on learning. Some 4-year colleges programs, yeah, they offer internships and practical experiences. The focus actually kind of seems like it tends to be on theoretical aspects rather than on hands-on training. And this can actually be a disadvantage in fields where practical skills are highly valued. So think about that for a second, you guys. So when you think about and talk about where we need to shift, maybe, just maybe, the shift needs to be there. Hopefully that, you know, that makes sense. But I'm just talking about some of the things that we really need to think about and how we need to approach some things, you guys, very differently, very differently from what we've all known, right? The need for technically trained professionals, it continues to grow. It's not going to go away, not happening. Technical trained professionals, there are numerous career opportunities and something that a lot of people would love to have, job security. That's right, job security. Think about that. So, deciding between a vocational technical school and a 4-year college, it really does require some serious, careful consideration of personal preferences, career goals, financial circumstances, and the specific demands of different industries. On the other side, um, vocational technical schools can provide um, practical skills, quicker job entry at a much lower cost than if you are in college. And 4-year colleges, they offer maybe more of a holistic education and greater long-term career flexibility. But ultimately, I'm just going to tell you, the choice needs to be based on you, on the individual circumstances, aspirations, and preferences, as both pathways offer valuable opportunities for success in today's tech-driven world, you guys. Bottom line, the need for technical expertise in today's world is evident. Evident. Hi, Robert. Thank you for chiming in. Um, and I want to just put up what you said just so that we can talk about it. You just had dinner with two young people who took the expedited route, and they are both loving the experience. They never connected with the standard curriculums in high school, but they are still bright kids with their own talents. I think they made the right choice. I love the advice you're giving. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. It's just so important to me. I see so many of our lost kids, and it's just because they've not had the guidance. They've not had someone say, there's nothing wrong with it. You hold your head up, and this is what you do, right? And I neglected to tell all of you, I started out with an AARN degree. That's an associate degree of registered nursing. And I went back to school years later and got a bachelor's. But you know what I had over the BS nurses? I had skill sets. I had knowledge. And that's the thing I'm talking about, you guys. This is where we've got to flip the script. Thank you, Robert, so much for sharing that. Just thank you. And I just say, you guys, again, the bottom line, the need for technical expertise is in our world today, it's more evident than ever. Businesses, governments, individuals, they're going to require more individuals that have that technical background to manage and operate new and emerging technologies. It's not going away, whether you like it or not. And so, therefore, it's really essential for individuals to pursue technical training as it actually opens up new job opportunities and provides a competitive edge in today's market. Think about it. The person who's going to get a 4-year degree and they are studying, um, they're getting a degree and, I don't know, but, some form of technology. You're already ahead of them by 2 or 3 years. You've had the training, you've got the skills, and you've been working in the field. And who do you think they're going to hire? They're going to hire somebody who actually has the skill, the knowledge, and who's been doing this for some time. That's critical. And so businesses need to invest in upskilling their current workforce and consider hiring more technically trained individuals to meet their evolving technological needs. Guys, this has been my thing for you today. Um, I would hope that you would like and share this particular, well, all of the broadcasts, but in this particular case, it has just really pained me to know that we have so many kids with so many talents that aren't being utilized, and it's because we're trying to funnel them into this one path. And there are a million ways for them to reach. See, guys, you need to understand there is no wrong turn. What God has for you, you'll end up where you need to be. But we need to guide them, and that's exactly what it is that they need. So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Um, and for all of your comments. I love this format where you guys can give and offer feedback. I would hope that you, again, have found the information that I've shared with you today to be informational, inspirational, and educational. That's one of the things that we need. I invite all of you to add the Gloria Bailey Ratio to your Tuesday calendar, you guys, 5 to 6 p.m. Give me 55 minutes of your time. If you miss an episode, you can go back and watch the episode. Just go to YouTube, or you can go to my website. Usually they are uploaded within a few days, and just look for Gloria Bailey Ray. I want to remind you guys, if you're looking for some serious spiritual, motivational inspiration, it's a half hour of power with me, Lady G, every Thursday from 6 to 6:30 p.m. on Spreaker.com. And I just want you guys all to know from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate all of you. I want to thank you for your love. I want to thank you for your support and for tuning in. Be sure and follow me on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram. And guys, I am in need of sponsorship. So if you are able to become a sponsor, inquire about the sponsorship opportunities. It's never too late. I want you guys to know that if you're not in the space to become a sponsor, you can still support by even making a small donation. Just go to gloriabaileyray.com and connect with me. Okay, so until this time next week, guys, I want you to have an awesome week. It's really important. I want you to have an awesome week. I want you to give thanks for all of your blessings, all of them, not some of them, all of them. I want you to stay safe and remember to always pay it forward. Last thing I'll say to you, remember that the quality of your life is determined by the decisions that you make. It's been a blast. And as I always say, if you didn't take anything away from today's show, then it's you who didn't get the memo. I'm Gloria Bailey Ray, you guys. I'm your host. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love you. God bless you all. I'm out.